welcome back to Chapter 9. We're going to carry on with the in-class exercise 9.1. And when you have a look at this program and you run it, so what I've done is I've opened it up here and I've executed, debugged it, and what it does is when I click the toss 5 times, it basically takes a coin and it flips it 5 times. And if I keep clicking this, you can see here it just keeps tossing and then clearing and then tossing. This one tossed heads 5 times in a row. It's unusual. And you can keep doing that. All right, so how are we going to accomplish this? Well, we know we need to have an action where it's going to have something where it's going to pick a random number, toss it. We know it's heads or tails, and we have to send the information with the loop back. So we could write this program relatively easy, but the goal here is to set up a new class that has the ability to toss a coin and determine whether it's heads or tails, and do this multiple times. All right, so let's have a look at the code itself. Now, inside of the program here, what I'm starting off is when I click this, I'm actually going to create an instance of a coin. Now, before I can even do that, we should take a look at the actual, where's this coin class actually set up. Now, I could have put it inside of my namespace here. I could have put it directly below my forms down here, so I could have gone down here and actually put it right in here. So the class could go right here. But instead of doing that, I've actually opted to install it inside of my project as a separate file here. And you can see here I've created this one here called the coin.cs. Now to create that, I simply right-click on my project, my namespace here called Chapter 9 in class exercise, and I'm going to go down here to where it says let's add, and so we're going to add, and I'm going to add a class. So I'll go over here and say add a class, and when I do that, it simply sets up a blank file that allows me to name it, and I called mine coin.cs. Now inside of coin.cs, I've got the actual class information right there. When I click on it, you can see at the top here it says coin.cs. And you can actually see I've got other classes we'll look at later. Now, when I open it up, you'll see here I've got one use, just the generic system activated here. But what's important to note here is that even though I'm inside my coin.cs, my namespace container here is still the same as my regular code. So you can see over here my regular code is the namespace is right here, and in my in my coin.cs file, it's the same. So that's how I get away with separating it into two locations, and that's why I can put it onto two different, I can put it in both of those locations. All right, now let's have a look at the actual coin class itself. Now, what do I want it to do? Well, there's different members, and I need, again, a field to represent the side facing up. So I'm going to create that. This is just a regular variable declaration, but because I'm inside underneath my coin class, it becomes a field level variable. So I'm going to just declare it privately here. It's going to be a string, and I'm going to call it the side up, not a problem. Now, something else I need this particular class to be able to do is generate random numbers. So I'm going to create a instance of a rand. This is my variable, and we've looked at this many times, creating a random instance. And if you think about this, it's very similar to creating a class because we're creating an instance of a random object here by using the random class here, give it a variable name, create a new instance with the constructor of random as well, and it constructs and builds that up onto the heap. So now I can use rand to generate random numbers. Now inside here I've got my coin toss, and remember the coin toss, and being the same name as the class name, makes it the constructor. That means when I actually run this and build it, it constructs utilizing this field right here and now assigning a string to that particular field. These two fields are available and waiting anytime I create a new instance, and we'll look at that in the next video here.